Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about going on adventures, because right now it's 3 p.m. On the 29th of July, and at 8 p.m. I'm going to be setting out to Edinburgh, where I'll be sleeping on a floor for 4 days, and then we're coming back down to Leeds. We're going to sleep there for one night, and then we're coming down, and then we're going to be staying in Derby for one night, and then coming back home. Right, so why am I doing this? Well, first off, my mate Benja is recording some people at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and kind of just off the cuff I kind of just sort of said, if you want someone to come along, like I'll be down, you know. And that kind of spiraled into me actually going. You know, I said I'd be up for it, and then turns out I'm actually going. So that's kind of how it's happened. But the reason I said I'd be up for it is because it can get it's very easy to get complacent doing the same thing again and again and again, right? You know, you can sit, and also I've got hay fever. Like the hay fever's flared up because the pollen season has changed from tree pollen season to weed pollen season. So my hay fever's come back, and I've also got a cold hiding underneath all of this as well. So I'm not feeling the best. And I'm about to have to go on an all-night drive up to Edinburgh. So I'm not really looking forward to any of this, but it's good that I'm not looking forward to any of this, because all of this is going to be happening. It's going to be such a big, overwhelming experience. And you know what? I'm going to end up coming back, right, from all of this, right? And it's going to feel like I've accomplished something. That's why I'm doing it. It's because if I just sit here, you know, doing the same thing all the time, waking up, going to film videos, editing, going to work, going to bed, waking up, editing videos, going to work, going to bed, waking up, you know, just doing the same routine again and again and again, it just becomes a little bit like, I don't know, there's almost like this mildew over life, right? And what I'm doing is I'm essentially clearing all of that mildew by putting myself in a new situation that I don't particularly like the sound of, right? Because I know what's going to be happening, right? Right now, I'm walking around kind of like a little bit down, right? For the past few days, I've been a bit existentially miserable, right? And, you know, just constantly thinking about shit and not being very happy, right? But I know what's going to happen, right? Is I'm going to go up to Edinburgh, right? And I'm going to want to come back home. I'm going to be sitting there like, oh, I can't wait to go back home. I can't wait to go back home. I hate it here, right? And that's the worst case situation. So, like, the alternative is I might really, really enjoy it. But say I really, really hate it, right? I'm going to be sitting there going, oh God, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. I just want to go home. Suddenly, me going back to that position where I am now, where I'm walking around all existential, miserable and stuff in my usual surroundings, right? It's going to feel a lot better because I've taken myself out of my comfort zone and come back to my comfort zone, right? And it's going to feel a lot better, right? It's going on an adventure for the sake of coming back from that adventure, right? Because I know that after all of this happens, right, I'm going to be coming back and I'm just going to feel so much better for having done it, rather than escaping from doing hard stuff that I don't want to do. Sometimes we all have to do stuff we don't want to do. And this is one of those things. It's one of those sort of, you know, crazy experiences. You know, I don't particularly like the idea of sleeping on a floor for 3 days, but when I'm going to be sleeping on that floor, I'm going to be sat there going like, oh, I can't wait to sleep in my bed again. And then when I sleep in my bed again, right, it's going to feel fantastic. But right now when I sleep in my bed, it doesn't feel all that great because I'm doing it all the time, right? So I'm putting myself in a worse situation so that when I get back to where I am now, it's going to feel that much better, right? And it's the same way, like, I don't know, you put yourself out your comfort zone so that you can come back to your comfort zone, essentially. That's the whole idea, right? And also along the way, I'm going to be filming the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I'm going to be getting loads of stuff for my portfolio, going to get loads of pictures, going to be doing loads of Johnny Mozza videos out in like Edinburgh and Scotland and Leeds and stuff. So, you know, I'm going to get a lot of content out of that, sort of thing, if I'm going to be cynical about it. But that's all going to be good for me as well, going into that hyperdrive sort of focus mode, right? Because I feel like I haven't really done much lately. I feel like I've got myself in a rut, and I want to use this as an excuse to force myself out of a rut. And I feel like it's like say if someone's asking you to do something weird, right, and you feel able to do it, right, and it's going to benefit you in some way, go for it, right? Don't just say no to it because it seems like it's going to be a lot of work. Go for it, because you're going to get back from it, and you're going to have the accomplishment of having done it. 2, you're going to feel good because you're back home, right? And 3, it shows that you're someone who's not afraid to go and do this sort of stuff, right? I'm not looking forward to this, but I am looking forward to having done it, right? And that's the key, right? It's not to worry so much about, what are you going to be getting yourself in for, right? Because I know what I'm getting myself in for. It's going to be a miserable slog, right? Driving up to Edinburgh, right, is fucking long, right? I don't really want to be doing that, right? But you know what? We're going to be stopping off at a beach at sunrise, so hopefully I'll be getting a couple Johnny Mozza videos on the beach at sunrise. That'll be fun. I'll be getting some in Edinburgh. That'll be fun. I'll be, because I am Scottish, I don't get to go to Scotland vastly often, so that'll be fun. The Edinburgh Fringe Festival will be fun, I'm getting in there for free, so that's going to be fun. And on the way back, we're seeing a couple mates and stuff that I've been meaning to see for a while. So it's checking a lot off of my to-do list that was kind of like in the back of my to-do list, and it's getting a lot done and out the way, and it's going to make everything feel a lot better for having done it, right? And so, yeah, that's why I'm saying go on these adventures so that you can get back from the adventure. And once you're back from the adventure, then you can be back in your normal sort of state, not worrying about stuff. Say in Lord of the Rings, right, you see Samwise Gamgee at the end, right, going home, right? And, he looks happy, right? But you see him in the first film, he's sitting around the Shire all day doing nought, But now he's got that feeling of accomplishment. He's gone out and done something worthwhile. And so now he's back, and he's able to make something of his life because he's had that experience, and that experience helps build up who he is. This experience is going to build up who I am, because all experiences build up who you are. So you can only build yourself up if you're willing to put yourself out there. And if you're not willing to put yourself out there, then you're just going to rot into complacency and do the same thing again and again and again. Waking up, going to work, coming back home, going to sleep, waking up, going to work, coming back home, going to sleep, waking up, going to work, coming back home, going to sleep, and it'll do that again and again and again and again. And that gets so sort of tiring. It's this endless sort of, sort of state. You know what I mean? Like right now, I've got hay fever, right? But before I had the hay fever, I had this perpetual tiredness sort of, not syndrome, but like I just felt tired all the time. It would get to 4 p.m. and I feel like I needed to go to sleep. But I felt overall like my sinuses were fine and all that sort of stuff. And I think that caused me to be a lot more existential than I am now. I'm much less existential now because now I'm sitting around going, oh God, I don't want to be fucking getting the hay fever. The hay fever's annoying. And the hay fever being annoying is taking up mental capacity that was otherwise being spent on putting myself down. So I'm glad for the hay fever, And you know what? Once, 6 months pass, this is going to be just, none of this stuff will be in my mind. All that I remember is the bit where I'm at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. All I remember is the bit where I'm on that beach. All I remember is the big moments, right? The small little things that are the hardships, they get all sort of rolled into this sort of overall package of the story of the thing, right? The story of how I went to Edinburgh, or the story of how you did whatever it is that you're going to be doing, right? All the little things along the way, where maybe you had to wait outside the petrol station for 4 hours or whatever because they were doing some like the oil tank or whatever was loading oil. I know it doesn't take 4 hours, but you know what I mean? Like those little inconveniences and annoyances and hardships get forgotten about, but they make up the story that you're telling. Not necessarily to other people, but to yourself, because you know who you are. You are a collection of anecdotes that you have been through, stories that you've been on, right? Journeys that you've taken, right? And the more journeys that you take, the more of a complete individual, I suppose, you are, And, that's why I say it's important to say yes to things, because the more things that you say yes to, the more that you can get yourself out there, and the more that you can get yourself out there, then the more you will feel, because you'll know what you like, what you don't like. You'll know how you feel in situations where you're uncomfortable. You'll know how you're in situations where you're comfortable. You'll know how it feels to be angry or frustrated or euphoric or, I don't know, bored, you know. But if you don't do anything, then all you'll know is how to feel bored. And I don't think that's what any of us want. We all want deep down to do something with our lives. And, you know, there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many days in the week, so many weeks in the year, you know, and we're only alive for so long, so we might as well try and do as much as we physically can in the time that we have around. So that's why I'm doing this video, right? When I could be sitting at home, you know, doing out and resting for going to Edinburgh, because this is going to just become like another part of the story, you know. This is just going to become another chapter, another bit of the overall going to Edinburgh experience, right? The annoyance of lugging the camera around is going to be forgotten about. All you'll remember, or all I'll remember, is the contents of this video, right? I won't remember the setting it up. I won't remember putting the lav mic on. I won't remember, you know, filling up this fucking bottle of water, right? I won't remember any of it. I'll remember the important stuff, the big things. And, you know, when it gets to 50 years from now, I'm not going to even remember filming this at all, but I might remember going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, right? That's the point that I'm making. Go and do stuff. Go on these mad experiences. Go on these mad adventures. Say yes to stuff. Don't think that you're too incapable to do anything, because you know what? Some of the biggest, most successful people in the world are fucking idiots, right? And I'm just another fucking idiot, and so are you. So let's just go and do the best that we can and try and raise our, you know, collective awareness of the world by going out and doing stuff. So yeah, that's going to be it from me. Hope you managed to get something out of this video. I know that I apologise for the cough and the splutter and the raspiness of the voice and all that sort of stuff. But I've got hay fever. It's because, as I said, it's gone from tree pollen season to weed pollen season. Don't ask me what that means. It just means this gets caused, right? And yeah, leave your comments below. What do you think about this idea? Yeah, that's it really. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.